Okay, this video is specifically being crafted, made, edited, published, spread worldwide for Maria because it's the FNAF timeline, which doesn't make sense. It literally physically can't make sense because Scott didn't think well enough about it, but it's okay. There's parts I'm fuzzy on. Listen, I was into this game when I was 10, so it's been a while since I have thought about it. But yeah, we'll go through it step by step. It's long and difficult. And also, I don't remember exact details because everything I sort of know about it has been through just people talking. I've never played the games. Well, that's a lie. I've played the first and second one, but like never through to completion and never generally paying attention to what's happening because I was like 11 and was shitting myself playing them, but whatever. So the the first pizzeria was called Freddy Fazballs Family Diner, and that opened, I don't know, early 80s, late 70s, something like that. Not very recent. It's old as shit. And it was opened by two men. That's four, but two. William Afton, who's, you'll find out, a terrible person, spoiler, and a guy named Henry. His last name is Emily, but I won't say that because that's my name, and it'd be weird if I just kept calling him Henry Emily. Anyways, I'll detail their families right now because it becomes important later. So, Afton, his family is comprised of Michael Afton, Elizabeth Afton, who's like the daughter, and a kid colloquially known as Crying Child because when you see him, he is crying. But it's very possible his name is Evan. There just hasn't been any confirmation on that. And then in terms of Henry's family, his daughter is called Charlotte or Charlie, and we know that based on the books, which aren't exactly in the same universe as the games, but we do know that things from the books can help fill in blanks from the games, which helps a lot, I guess. Anywho, so they open up the Fredbear's Family Diner, and in it are two animatronics. They're known as Golden Freddy and Golden Bonnie. Well, no, they're just known as Freddy and Bonnie because they're the only ones that exist. The normal ones don't exist yet, but anyways. And they're a specific type of suit known as springlock suits. This becomes important later on. I'm not just going into detail about these for no reason. It is an important detail, meaning that they have this mechanism in them that they're called spring locks, and they pull apart the heavy exoskeleton inside the suit so that a human could wear it, that there's like enough space for a human to put it on, and it'll be like sort of floppy. If those spring locks are triggered, we know based on a phone guy call at the beginning of second game, I think, or third, one or the other, that like moisture and like janky movement or whatever can cause spring lock failures, which will just cause all of them to go, and then the fucking exoskeleton will kill you. It'll puncture you until you bleed to death. And there's no getting out. Like, you can't go back, you know. Anyways, this is mostly just to save money, because then you don't need two suits, or you don't need to pull out the exoskeleton, which is, you know, annoying and could cause damage, and yeah. So, there's those suits. And the reason why I mentioned the family, like their families before, is because this is where it becomes important. In 1983, okay, no, before that, in 80, no, it would have to be afterwards. No, in 1983, sorry. The timeline doesn't make sense. This is a date we do know. We see the Crying Child, William Afton the son, gets scared a lot by his older brother, who's Michael Afton, and then we see because like we're exploring their house. It's in an 8-bit minigame. This is confusing. I'm sorry. Anyways, we're exploring the house. So we're playing as Crying Child, and he's in his house, and we see him constantly get scared by his older brother because he's an older brother and he's a dick. Who's Michael Afton, and we also notice that his sister's room is empty. So his sister, Elizabeth Afton, who I mentioned before, is also an integral person in this game. Why? She's one of the first, if not the first kid to die. There's a lot of kids that die in these kids, but she's one of the first. And we know that she goes on to possess Baby. Baby is the main character of Sister Location, which is the 6th game. And I guess we know this because during a minigame, we can see Baby's eye color change from the original blue to green, which is the same color as Elizabeth. And there's a minigame where you see her die. And it only makes sense that it's her. In any case, Baby was a part of a restaurant known as Circus Baby's Pizzeria, I think. I don't know if they served pizza, though. I don't know if it was, whatever. Circus Baby was what it was called. Which was, like, after Fredbear's Family Diner, but before the next one or during the next one. Like, it's very confusing as to when it takes place because it doesn't really make much sense. But anyways, she dies there. So she's missing from this part of the story. Anyway, so we see Crying Child walking around his house getting scared by his older dick brother, while a mysterious plushie with camera in his eyes known as Fredbear. He's the plushie version of Golden Freddy. He has cameras in his eyes because because William Afton, his dad, is surveilling him after what happened to his sister. He's like a super controlling parent in that regard. Anyways, and then so he's like, I'm gonna go to Freddy's, and he pops on down to Freddy's, and then he's scared shitless by the animatronics because he's like 8 and these things are scary. And just a bunch of stuff happens to him. It's not really important to the story, but eventually he gets locked into a closet, and then there's like an animatronic in there, and you can see like the hair of a dead child in the animatronic, so you know that Willie A striked again. Anyways, he's at the restaurant, and then his brother and his brother's friends, who are just a big pack of bullies, but like they're 14-year-old boys, so it makes sense. They're not horrible people. They accidentally push him on stage, and he's in like a crying fit or whatever, and he is in Golden Freddy's mouth, who in this moment was not in like suit mode. He did have an exoskeleton, meaning there's not like a person, oh my god, excuse me, there's like a person in there that can just be like whoop, you know. So he's in Golden Freddy's head, his mouth, and Golden Freddy chomps down on that kid's fucking frontal lobe, and he hangs limp from the mouth while his brother watches in horror as he just fucking killed his younger brother. In any case, so and then so that's what a lot of people think the 4th game is about, is that it's sort of his nightmares about it, because we do know all the animatronics are called like Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Chica. They're not real. So yeah, people think it's his nightmares before he ends up succumbing to his, brain damage issue and dies, which is sad. Anyways, flash forward a couple of years, where in 1985, the missing children's incident happens, which is like 6 kids go missing, starting with Chica, and we know it's not Chica, but the kid that inhabits Chica, which is her name's Susie. Starting with her, we know this based on a voice line in Ultimate Custom Night, in which Chica goes, I was the first. I have seen everything. So we know she's the first. It's very explicit. So she does first, and then we don't know the rest of the order, but eventually it's something. And we know the names of these kids based on tombstones that we see at the end of the 6th game, Pizzeria Simulator, where we have the names Susie, which is Chica, basically because she's the only girl. There's Fritz, Gabriel, and Jeremy. We don't know who's who in that thing, but they'll end up inhabiting Foxy, Freddy, and Bonnie. And then a hidden one is belongs to Cassidy, and you can figure out how people have, which belongs to Golden Freddy. People have figured that out. It's really complicated because you have to use the lore book, and I'm not gonna go into that, but her name's Cassidy. And then there's a grave up on the hill. I'll put a picture of it so you can see. There's a grave up on the hill, and a lot of people think that belongs to Charlotte, Henry's daughter, and I'll get into why. Okay, Charlotte. We see her death. She was one of the first deaths, but it doesn't make, like, she realistically couldn't have been, I guess, in a timeline perspective, though it makes sense for her to have been the first. Anyways, whatever. She dies. William Afton killed her outside of a pizzeria. And then the security puppet that responded to the bracelet, because like when you go into Freddy's doll, the kids are given a bracelet, and then the color of that bracelet corresponds to a security puppet who is made sure to like take care of you in case you're in danger. And that security puppet responded to her color and went outside in the rain and broke down, and also basically died alongside her, and eventually her spirit would inhabit the puppet. And then in a mini game that you play at the end of FNAF 3, I think it is. Oops. Known as Save Them. It's called Save Them minigame. The puppet is basically shown to be putting kids in these suits, basically putting their soul in these suits and like giving them life, and giving them like just the power now to decide what they want to do. Revenge. Which doesn't make sense if she died after. Oh, I'm sorry. Which doesn't make sense if she died after them. But I suppose dead kids are around longer than you'd think. In any case, whatever. So the 5 kids go missing. Bada bing, bada boom. Cassidy, who goes into Golden Freddy, is known as the one you should not have killed, or a vengeful spirit. I'll get into why later. But she is, she's in Golden Freddy, and keep in mind, Golden Freddy, right, is a springlock suit, meaning it can be either in suit mode or animatronic mode. And when she was put into it, her soul or whatever, it was in suit mode, and no one has touched this animatronic in years, so, like, decades, I mean, so, like, she can't move like the other ones can, because there's nothing in it that's giving her the ability to move, so she's stuck, which is what you see at the beginning of the first game, where it's Golden Freddy, and he's, like, limp in, like, the kitchen or whatever. That's why the kitchen camera doesn't work, and, in that game, and in many other games, Golden Freddy has the repeated saying of, "It's me." And it's like, well, why would Cassidy be saying, "It's me"? Well, here is the big twist. There is not just Cassidy in the thing, the animatronic. There's also Evan, crying child. His soul is also in the suit, as we know, because he died at the hands of this suit. In a terrible freak accident, but it is the suit that killed him. So he's in it as well. And he's saying, "It's me," because his older brother, Michael Afton, is the character that we play as throughout every game. Well, not every game, but most games. Now, let's get back into this. What about the Happiest Day minigame, I hear you say, because you know what that is. Happiest Day minigame is when the puppet basically gives peace to all of the animatronic souls. So, through a birthday party, Foxy, Chica, Freddy, and Bonnie, and Golden Freddy are able to achieve peace. We see so as, like, their souls go on and the masks fall, and at the end of the game, it's called, like, the end. All of the lights inside their masks are gone, except one. Except Golden Freddy's. And they're like, wait, but I saw Golden Freddy's soul ascend. Yeah, well, you saw one of them ascend. You saw Evan's soul ascend because it was his birthday that he missed. So it's him who's able to, you know, be okay, I guess is the word, or like to be able to rest. Yeah. The other soul in there, Cassidy, is not giving up that easily. She's like, no, fuck y'all. I'm staying. I hate this bitch. I'm killing him. Talking about Michael Afton. William Afton. Oh my god. I can't get those mixed up. Whatever. William Afton. And yeah, so that covers like kind of the first 4 games ish. If I'm going very speedy through this. Yeah. But then we could talk about the 5th game. Oh, no. Again, this is going back to the first 4. When I said, oh my god, I haven't even hold on. The most famous incident, the bite of 87, a lot of people think it's the bite that happens to Evan, but it's not. That's the bite of 83. The bite of 87 was, based on just context clues, because, the bite of 87 was like a frontal lobe bite, meaning up here, meaning the animatronic would have to be coming from like the top, and it would have to have a pretty big mouth to like, you know, get in there. People have assumed that it's Mangle that caused it, because Mangle comes out of vents, like the vent that's above you, and just has a very unhinged jaw and would be able to fucking eat your brain. So this happened to someone named Fritz, I think, or we don't know. I don't know if it's an unnamed guard, but whatever. I bet 87. And then after that, every other night guard has been like, sometimes you're a night guard named Fritz, which is why I don't think it's the guy's name is Fritz. Sometimes you're named Jeremy. Sometimes you're named Mike. And well, guess what? These characters are always fired for the same reason, and that's odor. Odor and weirdness. Tampering with the animatronics. So, we know that we're playing as Michael Afton. He is the night guard. That's why the Golden Freddy thing is going, it's me, because it's his little brother being like, oh my god, it's me, lol. And then, and the reason, oh, and like, I kind of noticed this, he's literally choosing the names of the kids that died. Like, a little bit of respect for the dead, please. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the reason he has odor is because during Sister Location, which is the 5th game, which is what I was going to get into, the, like, amalgamation of parts known as Ennard. He's an amalgamation of all the Funtime animatronics, and basically carries all those souls, all that what is known as remnant. Weird. It is oh my god. Scoops out all of Michael Afton's fucking organs and then inhabits his body. But then so his Michael Afton's body is decaying. Like, he's purple. He's gross. And then, like, Ennard's like, this shit won't do. And he fucking leaves. And Michael Afton is just left sort of to exist. And some of the remnant from Ennard is kept within him. So he's able to live after death, which is strange. Oh. like I say, which is strange. And then, so it's after that he goes and takes on all these jobs, and it's crazy. But I think, anyways, yeah. And then, we can talk about his dad now, actually. So, William Afton is like the man that created most of the animatronics, along with his partner Henry. Like, Afton was more business end, and Henry was the one that he created at least the original ones, like all like the good ones. Willie A created the evil ones that you see in Sister Location, because they have because you can tell from blueprints, they have things like stomach capacity that holds a child, because they're meant to capture children. Anyhow, yeah, so William Afton, he kills kids, and then he is like, lol, these kids' souls are now in these things, and they're trying to kill me, so fuck them. So he dismantles all of the animatronics, and he's like, I win. Little does he know that releases their spirits. So now their spirits are after him, and he's, sort of pressured into a corner, and these spirits are like, fuck you, bitch. And he's like, ah! And then he gets into his infamous Golden Bonnie suit, which is what he killed everyone in. But little does he know, it's actually fucking, there's water in the air. And as we know, water is not good for Springlocks. So he gets in there, fidgeting, he's freaking out, he's sweating, it's raining. He dies. Well, he doesn't die. The spirit's gone. He doesn't die because we see him moving. He's moving. So we never not see him move, and we never don't see the light in his eyes go out, which is like telltale that he's still alive. And then he gets boarded up behind those walls until eventually the walls come down and he's released, until the pizza goes up in flames and they're like, he's dead, he's dead. Michael Afton does that, by the way. He's dead. And then he's alive again because he's in the next game. Fuck. Anyways. That was the end of the fifth one, I guess. This is a very quick rundown. There's a lot more in these, but like who's in whose soul, like who's in whose, what souls in which animatronic, but I'm not gonna get into that because it's probably boring for you. And then sixth one. There's the sixth one, which is kind of like the grand finale, and I wish it was the last game. VR like Help Wanted is a good game as well. Actually, I really enjoyed that one, but this is the last one for this part of the story. So you are Michael Afton. It's pretty well established that you're playing as Michael Afton in this game, as you are in every other game. I'm sorry, my toes keep peeking up. Anywho, and you're basically, so it's called Pizza Simulator, and you're basically running your own restaurant, having fun, but at the end of every night, there's this weird voice, and he's like, make sure all of the animatronics found in the back are taken in as salvage. So that voice belongs to Henry Emily, that we know from before, and he's basically saying all this because the animatronics that he's coming in, which is like Springtrap, Scrap Baby, Lefty, the other animatronics, whatever, the puppet, it's basically all of the souls of the people needed to go on, and William Afton, who needs to be killed. So at the end of the game, if you get the ending that is known as the Lord Keeper ending, then you stand and watch as the whole pizzeria burns while Henry is talking, and he's like, you guys need to give up your souls. They don't belong to you. They need to be at rest. So basically all the animatronics are burning and their souls are going to heaven or wherever, if you believe in heaven. Fuck. And then there's a really cute moment where he's like, and for you, my daughter, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. But it's like, and all the animatronics you have taken into your arms now, give up, go to bed, sleep, be at rest. Which kind of confirms that his daughter, Charlotte, is in the puppet. What else? Oh yeah, then there's the infamous line where it's like, but for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened up. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. Which is him directly talking to William Afton, who killed his daughter and many other children. So yeah. Basically how it ends is the whole thing going up in flames and everyone being saved. It's cool. And then the next game is VR. It's a VR game. It's called Help Wanted, and basically you're playing as a playtester for a beta, like a game, and you're in the thing. You're collecting tapes from this girl who's like, this guy went crazy, and now I'm the main beta tester, and I have 3 days to do it, and but there's this weird bunny that keeps hopping around. Your bunny, fucking run. And so, anyways. And it's like, I made these tapes, here's how you defeat them, or whatever. Anyways, and you find out that bunny is actually William Afton's soul impressed onto a hard drive. Yay! What? And basically she's just talking about, like, how she dealt with him, and then so there's 16 tapes, and on the 15th tape, she's like, shit. Get back to you. And then on the 16th tape, she seems to have changed her tune, where, because like for all of the tapes, she's like, don't collect these, there's no way to beat him, like I've put his soul onto these tapes and dispersed them so that he can never form again. And then as we hear that, we're collecting all the tapes, and that's on the 15th tape. And then on the 16th tape, she kind of changes her tune, and she's just like, no, collect the tapes, bring him back, I know how to defeat him, here's how you defeat them. And then you're like, well, why didn't you just do that then? What the fuck? And then you do what she says, and it doesn't work, and basically you're trapped. And at the beginning of the game, there was a warning, like, it was kind of like a joking warning, but it was like, we're not liable for conscious transfer, things. And it's basically implied that William Afton's soul on the hard drive, like, conscience transfers with you as the playtester, and is now just out and about in the real world. And that's terrifying. And there's a lot of other things as well, but I'll talk about it when I discuss security breach, because that's when she becomes important, like, kind of, because she's not really important in the game, actually, at all. Her name's Vanny, and her name's Vanessa, and a lot of people think she's the playtester that left the things, who got, her consciousness fucked up with Afton, and who eventually became known as Vanny, who's a killer bunny like him. And she is the one that's like chasing you around in security breach. She's kind of fucking up with you. Anyways. Also the bunny that's in the VR games is like colloquially known as Glitch Trap, which I think is really funny. I don't know why, but I do. Anyways, so yeah, that was further than I thought it was. Okay. What was that about? Oh, security breach. So you play as Gregory. Fuck Gregory. I hate Gregory. And the main animatronics are oh my god. It's Freddy, who helps you actually. Montgomery Gator, Chica, and Foxy the Wolf. Roxanne the Wolf. Anyways. And so basically, these animatronics don't have souls in them. They're not child possessed. They're not child certified. And they're trying to kill you the whole night because the code has been fucked with by a little man known as William Afton, who's still alive. Why? And it kind of sucks that he's still alive, because the ending of the 6th game is so good to have him dead. but so he's back, and you're playing as Gregory, who's like a homeless kid who snuck into the pizzeria because he was cool, I guess, and he's dicking around. Also, a new string of like 6 more kids have gone missing, and he's like, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna be the one to stop it. Sorry, okay. Okay. And then you find out that Vanessa, who works for Stringtrap, or William Afton, is the one behind them all, and she's annoying, and she doesn't really do much. Like, I don't know. And, yeah. Game theory, Matt Pat thinks that Gregory's a robot himself, which I think is kind of cool, because he's dressed a lot like Evan, who's the crying child. And then he also thinks that Michael Afton is embedded into Glamrock Freddy, which I also think is kind of interesting. It's like a interesting take on the older brother, younger brother dynamic that they kind of have. And sort of serves as a way for Michael to say sorry to Evan after what he did, and, it's causing his death. Which I think is cool. There's a lot of endings to that game. But the biggest one is the one where you find out that the mall that you're in, because it's a mall more so, well, it's the Pizzaplex. So there's like a bowling alley, and then there's like a race car place, and there's an indoor mini putt place, and there's a movie theater. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's like happening. It's not just like a pizzeria, which I think is it's a cool location. If it existed, I would be there all the time. Like, oh my god, wow. It's 80s-tastic, even though it takes place in 2030, which I think is fine. Like, the 80s would still be such a relevant time in the 2030s. Anywho, and this is where it gets like boring, because there's not much that happens. But yeah, so you find out that this mall is basically built on the pizzeria location from FNAF 6, which is, as you remember, Pizzeria Simulator. So it's basically the pizza place that was owned by Michael Afton, and you find out that there's like a large amalgamation of all these melted animatronics that are still alive and kicking, meaning no one died in that fire. Like, everyone's still there. Like, all their souls have not gone on. God, give up already. And basically, as you explain, you find out that William Afton's still alive, and he's being a dick, and you do a bunch of stuff or whatever, and then you just see that the whole pizzeria starts falling. But before you go down there, like, the elevator that you take, Freddy's like, this is a one-way trip elevator. That's why you have to be like, are you sure? Have you saved? Have you done everything? And you're like, yep, sure, let's go. But then you're like running, and like the whole pizzeria is falling down, and you don't see them get into the elevator. But like, so did like Freddy and him die? Like, I don't. Anyways, it's strange. I think whatever. It kind of sucked. It's not that good. And as you can see, there's not much to like really like discuss. Like, there's a part where it's attached to like Michael Afton's room from the sister location, and you see that. But like, what does that mean? Like, who cares? You know? Anyways, that's all of it. That's most of it. Not really most of it. There's a lot left. But this video is 30 minutes long. But I think it's kind of funny. Maybe it wasn't. I got really lazy towards the end. But I can make more videos in the future, or follow-up videos if you need. Whoa, vlogging. I'm kidding. But I hope it was decent enough. I hope you learned a little bit. This thing is hard to talk about. I get why MatPat is not. Wow. Anyways. Also, oh no, I forgot. I forgot this piece. Bonnie isn't present in the last game in thingy, because he was scrapped, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, Montgomery fucked him up. And I was like, yeah, fuck, a guy named Montgomery fucked up Bonnie, sure. No, what happened was that Bonnie it has always been the most aggressive animatronic, and it's probably like, oof, Montgomery, you're my replacement, I'm gonna go and fuck you up. And then he probably did, and that's why he was scrapped. They're like, this bitch is crazy, we gotta get him out of here. I hate him because everyone loves him, and because there's a part where Freddy is like, I miss him. Shut up. Why are they having human emotions? Anyways. And then so, like, people love him, and I'm like, nah, fuck this bitch. I hate him. Get him out of here. I'm glad he's dead. Also, I hate Gregory. I don't know why I hate Gregory, but I do. But no, I do know why I hate Gregory. So, what you have to do is you have to basically take parts from every animatronic. So, Roxy's eyes, because she can see through walls. Chica's voice box, because she can, like, break things. And Montgomery's claws, because he can break the gates. And every single time, he does it in the most brutal way possible, okay? He fucking hits Roxy with a car and rips out her eyes. And she's like left running around the Pizzaplex like, am I still beautiful? Because she has severe self-esteem issues because she's an animatronic. Then he lets a giant bucket fall onto Montgomery, which crushes his fucking legs. And his legs are just gone. And then he takes his hands. So he's like this, walking around like, wow, 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 you know? And then with Chica, because it's like heavily implied that Chica has like an eating disorder, and I don't get it because she's an animatronic, but like she eats a bunch of garbage and like shit, and then her room is an exercise thing where it's like burn the calories, and I'm like, are you okay? Anyways, oh, fuck. So he puts like her food into like a trash compactor, and she like runs in and she's and then the compactor's going down. Okay, it's like fine. But he pushes her, and then she's like, what? And then she's like, I'm gonna get out of here, what the fuck? And he's like, no, bitch, and he kicks her, and then her head fucking crushes, and her voice box comes out, and he grabs it, and he's she's like, just no mouth. And then even Freddy's like, this is Chica's voice box, how did you get this? Please tell me she's okay. And he's like, sure. I'm like, damn, bitch, Gregory's harsh. Anyways, there's just that part that I wanted to add. Yeah, I live for the drama at the Superplex, not so much at the Pizzaplex, not so much the actual lore and story. I like the drama. I want to see Gregory fuck a bitch up. Anywho.